What is up? Welcome in to the Early Edge. I am your host, Allan Bell. We've got a fantastic show lined up for you this Saturday. I'll tell you what, before we get to that, as always, let's take a look at how we did on Friday. And first, right out of the gate, let me just say, shout out to EC on his 4-0 day, Zach Attack, his 2-0 day, Snyder, his 2-0 day, Sia, Mike, hitting theirs, Maestro, you see as well, because 0-2 day for your boy. But you know what? That's what's the best part about the Early Edge fam is that, you know what? When you have a bad day, somebody's there to pick you up. So big shouts to the guys there for scooping your boy up. All right, now let's get into today. Let's bring in the star of the show. And I said that singularly because we have had tech issues all over the country today. And you know what? It's just me and Amags. So, my dude, first off, good morning, man. How we doing?
What's going on, AB? Yeah, I'm running this ship with just me and you here, but I like it. It's a little bit of a different Saturday morning type of a feel, right? We're getting into it. We got some early baseball games, then lead into a bunch of night games. So I like the vibes today. This is good.
I like the vibes as well, dude. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. And I'll tell you what. For everyone out there, props sit in his pick again. He couldn't make the show. He lost complete internet power, all of that. I'll put that out in a second. But Mags, man, you got a few plays here. I'm going to throw it to you. Drop them, buddy. What you got?
Yeah, man. So first game I was looking at here today, two pitchers I think are going in complete opposite directions. You have Alex Fido, I believe is how you say his name. That dog, Fido.
Yeah, got that dog in him. Hey, it was close.
Yeah. So I personally think he doesn't have that dog in him, though, because I like Bryce Miller a lot more. The last two outings for Miller, 6 innings in each start, 2 hits allowed in each of those. 1 run. He's not giving up much production, 15 strikeouts over those 12 innings. So I like what he's bringing to the table. You put him up against Detroit today and Fido. I mean, this Seattle team's been hitting much better, especially of late. I mean, that was a great win for them last night. They finally are getting Julio going a little bit, right? I think he had 6 total bases last night. So something that I'm going to be running. First off, Julio Rodriguez, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Like I said, big game last night. I think we see that continue today. And Fido has been hit this year much harder by righties, but last year he had issues with lefties, so he's a little bit all over the place. I think he's just going to get hit regardless. His xFIP is actually about over 3 runs higher than what his ERA is looking like right now. I definitely see some big-time regression coming for him. And like I said, I like what the Seattle offense did yesterday. I'll stick with them to roll. And Julio, it's a little bit juicy. If you wanted to look at the total bases, I think you could go there at plus money as well. But I went for the hits, runs, and RBIs. He's actually been pretty steady with some of those runs there. Yep, there you go. Big Cheesy. I already had you in the chat. I was ahead of you. I was thinking ahead of you, Big Cheesy.
Dude, getting ahead of Big Cheesy is not an easy task. My man is all over it. Big Cheese, we love you, man. All right, keep going, bud.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So we've got that one play, and then I'm sticking the same thing. So I like Bryce Miller, like I said, and I think that these pitchers are going in opposite directions. So instead of just picking on just the prop, you've seen me do it 100 times now. We're going to take the money line with Seattle here, and we're going to pair that with Jared Kelenic to have 1+ hit. He's had 10 hits in his last 10 games. Only one of those games he was hitless. He did have 2 hits in one of those games as well, but he's been hot. And like I said, Fido, last year he had some issues to the left side of the plate. So I'm going to take Kelenic to keep things rolling. And another piece here that I haven't mentioned, but Fido hasn't really gotten deep into any of his games, even in the minors, majors, last season. He just doesn't get deep into these games. This Detroit bullpen has been something that we've, early in the season, we really attacked. They've been getting better, but I still don't think them covering 5-6 even innings is going to be, the play for them today. So I will stick with Miller and that Kelenic to hit right there, because I think that those two things, plus 110, that really meshes nicely in my opinion. So I'm all over Seattle today in that one game there. And then I'll run my last one if you're cool with that, right? So I've got I'm going to the Yankees game and Tampa Bay. Man, that was a great win last night. The Yankees needed that win. It was huge, but I think they come back in a little bit of a letdown here. We've got one of the best pitchers in the majors in Shane McClanahan going up against the Yankees. Matchup wise, I've faded McClanahan a couple times already this year based upon matchup. he's burned me just because he's so good. So this is one where I'm going to take McClanahan. I'm going to ride him a little bit here. And first five, Nestor, he's given up one or less run in only one of his starts this year. The other starts, he's been giving up some runs. And just by watching him, he seems to labor a bit this year. It's almost like he doesn't have an out pitch. Like he has an out pitch and he has multiple really good pitches, but it seems like some of these games he just can't get to that out pitch. And with the way that Tampa's been, especially to start the season against lefties, man, they have been one of the best, if not the best team in the majors against lefties. So I think that they come out today, like I said, against that, after that tough loss yesterday. I think they come out firing here today. If you wanted much better price on the -0.5 on the first half for Tampa, if you wanted to give the push back to the books there, we went with the money line. If it's 0-0, 1-1, 2-2, we'll take the push and keep it moving. But if you wanted to play a little bit riskier, -0.5, it was like, near even money. So I wouldn't hate that either.
Yeah. You know what? I feel you. And I'll tell you what, the Rays Yankees game last night, right? So me and Mike were on CBS Sports HQ live betting it, like literally on screen live betting it. And I think it was the sixth inning. It was 2-2. Right. And the live total was 7.5. And I was like, blast this over, right? Because Cole was coming out. Right. And we saw, both of them were going to put it run. So long story short, what I'm saying is I feel you exactly on your breakdown in regards to them. All right. I'll tell you what, question for you real quick from LaMelo says, Mags, would you take Rays first five at -160 still?
Yeah, I saw that. So actually, look, -140, -145, I had -144. I think that's like the top for me in terms of wanting to keep that push. At that point, -160, like I'd rather just not lay the number and I'll take the, -105 or +100 and just play the run line there at -0.5. I personally don't think it'll be all that close if the Rays hit the way they have against lefties.
Yeah. All right, I'll tell you what. Let me jump into my picks real quick. Then I'm going to throw props on, and I'll put the recap screen on here. And we're going to keep going. We're going to talk baseball. You know what? We're going to throw up the old algorithm here of top five for today and tomorrow, and we'll break that one down. All right, so I'm going to leave you on screen here because, quite frankly, dude, I'd love your mind, love your thoughts here on the three that I have, all for Major League Baseball. All right, so first off, all right, Braves, Blue Jays, both teams to score 3+ runs, -140. It's a little bit juicy. The Jays are throwing Berrios today. Look, I feel it. I don't want to go anything above 3 when you need it on both sides, but I do think it's going to be a pretty offensive game, right? So I'll stop there. What are your thoughts here on not only the bet, but just the game as a whole?
Yeah, so Bryce Elder, I actually do like what he's done, and with the injuries that they've sustained, I think that he, definitely sticks in the rotation. So it's not like he has to perform well to stay in the rotation type of a deal. But I do like him. Berrios, man, he's all over the place. He's like a deck of cards, and if you pull a card, you don't know what you're gonna get, right? So I don't know the exact splits. I know the whole big thing with Berrios is like road. He's been bad. Home, he's been good. I can look at it what it's been this year. I think he did have a good start against that split recently, though. So I don't mind going against him. No, I also think that what time is this game, right? It's a 3:00 game at Rogers Center. I think that those day games at Rogers Center just kind of get weird.
See, you know what? Like, and I'll stop. Like, not to just throw things at the wall at you, but like, I agree with you. Like, and that's kind of why I'm going off of this game because again, we've got two decent pitchers who could be really good at times, and others like once the hits start coming early, dude, it could get out of hand quick. I don't think it's going to be any kind of super like blowout on either side. I also don't think it's going to be 20 runs, but I think it's going to be consistent hitting, consistent base running. And I'll tell you what, I've got another play in this game, and I'm going to throw it to you exactly the same deal. Austin Riley over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs here. -120, affordable price. I was looking at Acuna. His was like -175. And I'm going to get into another player. We'll talk Bryce Harper here in just a second. But, yeah, I'm going to roll with Riley here. And again, I mean, kind of the same thoughts here of what you just broke down, in regards to this game. All right, my last one here. And, again, interesting because of the pitching matchup they're going against. I'm going to take the Astros team total over 4, -120. Going up against the White Sox, we saw the Astros bats come alive specifically in the second half of the game. last night. And look, I think this team is finally hitting. Jordan Alvarez is on absolute fire right now. So anybody that's betting him, like, totally understand it. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Astros team total over 4. You can get this. I like playing these at Caesars because, one, not only excellent partners of ours, but number 2, you could get it at even numbers. You don't have to play the hook. So we do have push insurance here in case they score right at 4. Your thoughts there on the Astros and White Sox game? Because White Sox throwing Dylan Cease. So what are your thoughts there?
I don't hate that actually. Cease has been all over the place. You could put him and Barrios in a bus together on, the all over the place guys. Like they are just, one day they're great, the next day they're not. I've really been disappointed with Cease this year too. He was a rather high pick in fantasy, in fantasy leagues specifically. I took him in one. Just a complete disappointment. Usually a high K guy, but just hasn't performed up to the standard that we saw last year for sure. So I actually do like that pick. And something that you said about Caesars, I like this a lot, is a good point. So if you can get team totals at a place where you have the ability to choose what the number is, I would rather do that. I'd rather take the minus 120 and get off the hook than take the minus 105 somewhere else, right? Like I'd rather pay the minus 120 in that case. So that's a good call. I like that.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. Like, because that push insurance, dude, it comes in clutch, especially when you're looking at 4 or 5 runs. Because let's be honest, man. Like, dude, runs are hard. Consistently, runs are hard. I mean, it's baseball, right? I mean, we all get it, right? Like, 30% gets you in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a sport designed against you. So whenever you could get numbers that are 4 or 5, and you could get them on, the even without the hook. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you what, everybody, real quick, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Let's take the recap here, and I'm going to get Props' pick on here as well. So he's going with Zach Gallen to record a win at plus 115. Amags, as he just broke down, Julio Rodriguez over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs minus 155. Jared Kelenic over half a hit, and the Mariners to win the game money line at plus 110, and the Tampa Bay Rays first 5 money line minus 144. I am on the Braves, Blue Jays, both teams to score 3+ runs, minus 140. Astros team total over 4, minus 120. And then Austin Riley over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 120. Okay, so a couple things, Max, real quick. First off, question, Justin Jackson, he asked, hey, Max, thoughts on Rays money line today, minus 138, McClanahan versus Cortez. So, yeah, obviously you're rolling with the, the first 5 here, but what are your thoughts here on the entire game?
My thoughts are do not play the Yankees on full games. Just by the way that they've, ruined me a couple times already in the past few weeks here with late comebacks. That Rays bullpen, also kind of don't know what you're going to get from them. They've been really bad of late, but they've also shown they can be really good. Like I said, Yankees have done more of their hitting of recent. Later in these games. So I think if you're going to play specifically this game, but just, over the next few weeks, watch the Yankees and the Rays too, with the way that bullpen's looked. I'm not sure I would attack full games. And you're also, you got minus 130, 138 right there. I mean, we're at minus 144 on the first 5 money line. Like I would rather just play it there and kind of isolate McClanahan. I think McClanahan is, seriously one of the best pitchers in the majors. So his strikeout number today is very intriguing. I want to play it at plus money for the over 6.5. I know he hasn't hit it a lot this year. I think, let's see, I had it pulled up here. What's he hit? 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's hit it 4 times on the over 6.5, but 3 out of 4 in his last 4. So he's definitely been running the K's up a little bit of recent. And McClanahan, Strider. I had somebody talking to me about Strider yesterday. There's a few guys that are starting to show me they're matchup proof. It doesn't matter where that other team ranks with strikeouts.
Not to interrupt you. Like, I was going to say the exact same thing. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, not that it doesn't matter, but I think you had the perfect phrase. Like, they're matchup proof. Like, they're going to consistently give you what they give you, whether they're facing the Rays, with like whoever. You know what I mean? A couple things real quick, and then I'm going to pull up the screen here, and we're going to break this down. One, our man Big Cheesy says Ronald Acuna over 1.5 total bases. He's 3 for 3 with a homer against the Bears. Yeah, look, and Max, I'll let you jump in on that. 100%. Also, take a look at Acuna. I keep saying Acuna. Ronald Acuna over half a steal, I believe. On DraftKings, it's like 250, somewhere around there. Like, if he gets on base, the hard part is him getting a single. Like, because the dude hits so many doubles and he hits bombs. Like, if he gets on with a single, he's going to steal. Like, I mean, it's almost consistent every single game that you're going to get an attempt there. So I would take a look at that one. Also, real quick, and then again, Mags, I want your thoughts on it. And we're going to jump into it. Our man, Trent Wade, as we always do on Saturdays, got the lady in black in NASCAR. My man. All right. Goodyear 400 winning manufacturer of the race. He's going Toyota plus 130, as well as the head-to-head. He is going with Christopher Bell minus 118 over Joey Logano. So anybody getting down on NASCAR, that's where you're at. Now, let me pull this up, Mags. All right, let's take a look at the top 5 here today in Major League Baseball. Let me pull it up so everybody can see. Okay, so what you see, 513, the first one, top 5 players statistically here at SportsLine in the simulations to hit a home run, to steal a base, and starters with their K projections, strikeout projections. So home runs, Pete Alonso, Mike Trout, Kyle Schwarber, Jordan Alvarez, Matt Olson, right there, the Braves. Stolen bases, Bobby Witt, Starling Marte, Cedric Mullins, Ronald Acuna right there. Look at him, dude. And Trey Turner. And then starting pitchers in terms of their strikeouts, Zach Gallen, Nick Lodolo, Sandy Alcantara, Shea McClanahan, as you mentioned, and Dylan Cease, obviously going up against him. So I'm going to leave this screen up here, man. What are your thoughts looking at today across those 3 categories?
All right. So, I'm a K guy. I like to look at the strikeouts. So I'll go there first. Nick Lodolo, after last week's performance, I will definitely take a wait and see with him. But just stuff-wise, he'll probably be up there most times. Same thing with most of these names. Gallen, I do like Gallen a lot today. I agree with prop stars there. I definitely think that, especially being a night game out there, it's it just day games are a little bit different. And I think when you get those night games, it keeps guys in their routine, and pitchers are a creature of habit. So, especially when you bet on guys on like getaway days on a Wednesday afternoon, it definitely gets a little bit tough. You want to really have them in a good spot. It's not the best spot for Gallen for strikeouts, but I will say, if you look at the season as a whole, it's a good spot. I generally tend to look at more current stats, like last 2 weeks for right-handers, last 3-4 weeks for left-handers, for, offenses facing those handedness in terms of pitching. So, like I said, Gallen, a little bit of a worse matchup over the last few weeks, but better on the season as a whole. I think his talent definitely could pick up there. If we look at the home runs on the other side today, we did have a question. I think it was some home run.
Hold tight 1 second. So I was literally going to come to you. All right. So, and I'll put this back on the full screen so everybody can see it. I know that it can be tough on
who asked that
on a cell phone. Yeah. Which one? What question?
Somebody said any home run props today.
Okay. Gotcha. That's what I was absolutely going to ask. So you see the top 5 right there just for today. All right. Pick one. Let's have fun with it, me and you, because we play this game on the morning show. Pick the props, and we'll have everybody, choose their, their best one for, the 3 options. We've got 5 options. So I'm going to put it back full screen so everybody can see. But yeah, what do you got here?
All right, so let's see real quick, if you don't mind. I haven't dove into any of them. So Barrios getting hit a lot harder.
Absolutely. Like, I want to also say it's understood that you haven't done full research on every player in Major League Baseball, right? Like it's just for fun. Yeah, go ahead. So yeah,
man. Yeah, well, there. I know, as long as you guys don't care, I'm just looking real quick.
I'll tell you what. You look at that. I'm gonna go.
Barrios. I would probably say Olsen there. Just Barrios against lefties has really not been good this season. So I think I'd probably go Olsen. He's been hot too.
Yeah, he has. Look, I'm gonna go Alvarez, right? And I mean, the man has just been on absolute fire. And again, I understand that he's going to get Dylan Cease. Great pitcher for sure. You see him on the strikeout props up there. But yeah, I mean, dude, he blasted. Did you see it last night? Blasted
Jordan.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I gotta look back at that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Alvarez. I think Schwarber hit one yesterday too. Yeah, for sure.
I think that those games in Rogers Center, man, I just, there's something about those day games in the Rogers Center that I like attacking for hitting. And Olsen there, plus 288. He's the best odds up there on the top 5. So I think I'd probably go that way.
Yeah, dude, I feel you, man, 100%. And I'll bring it back down. Yeah. So all right. So our let's see. Here it is. Our man Dan Clark says, when you talk about my Braves, Mags, it makes me smile. Look, me and Mags have been texting about the Braves, I swear, the last 3 weekends in a row, because we're both so bullish. Obviously, like, how could you not be? I mean, the team's fantastic in almost every single metric. But what makes them so much are so dangerous is that the Braves, obviously, their top 4 is ridiculous, in terms of their lineup, but they have a great bridge in terms of, guys like Albies, right, who can hit 6-hole and bring together, kind of bridge it to 7, 8, 9. And the Braves' bottom of the lineup can hit, and if they get on base and you flip it back, to Acuna, Riley, Olsen, like, dear God, like, you're in trouble, man. Like, you're in absolute trouble. So we talk about it all the time. Like, the Braves are just, I mean,
and Dan, I've talked to him before. Actually, he's a Braves fan, so he is like he's very into the Braves.
The man.
He knows his stuff.
100%.
Sure.
All right. So we do have to jump out of here. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'll tell you what, I mean, keep this conversation going. Mags, let's go back and forth on Twitter, and everybody jump in. Also, we're going to start doing Twitter Spaces again as well, and letting Mags out here run it, right? So, everything Major League Baseball, break it down. Just kind of what we're doing now, man. Just talking, breaking it down, doing all of that. So keep on the eye for that. We will definitely get that out there and blast it from all the SportsLine pages. Also, real quick before we go, one second. Where is the question here? Because it was a good one. Okay, yeah, right here. Our man Phil Walker says, AB, where can I find that top page? So it's not on SportsLine. I've just created this algorithm here to, kind of auto run so that it's easier and quicker for me, quite honestly. But all this information is out there on the SportsLine. It's straight from the Sims. So if you go to any single team page, all right, and I'll show for anybody that's brand new, well, just go to a team page, a game, Astros, White Sox, Braves at Blue Jays, whatever, and click DFS projections, and you'll see the projections for those players in terms of hits, runs, all that kind of stuff. So it's all on SportsLine. I just created something to quickly put together.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, man. It saves time. Like, that's the biggest thing, because there's so much information, so many games I know that we all look at, and everybody, the crew included, right? Because I swear we have the best chat. We have the best bettors that are out here in the chat, and it's tough, man, for sure. So anyways, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be live Sunday, normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. But until then, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll keep the conversation going on Twitter. Dude, good luck, man. Let's smash.
Good luck, man.
See ya.